Well, good morning, everybody. Hello and welcome in from the Montgomery Regional Airport. It is Longshore and McKnight on this Thursday. A lot of conversation to be had today, a lot of things to check in on today, particularly checking in here at MGM for travels, well, all over the globe.
The Montgomery Regional Airport, if you've not been a part of the program before, you know we are in the terminal, right near, right at the check-in gates, right next to the escalator and the stairs up to TSA. We're right in the middle of it all, and you will be as well here at Montgomery Regional Airport. Everything convenient. You come in, you check in, maybe you pre-check, go upstairs. TSA is a breeze, and literally from here you can go anywhere.
Well, you can, Barry. You're right about that. Nonstop flights to Atlanta, Dallas, Fort Worth, Charlotte, and Washington's Reagan National Airport. If you're going to one of those four locations, wow, you're in good shape. But if you need to make a connection to any point, anywhere in the world, you can do it right here from MGM. Very easy, economical, hassle-free parking, just a few short steps away. Zip into checkout, go through TSA, you're there, and you're ready to start your travel. So it's all about convenience and ease. You know, Barry, I'm not a hassle guy. I like things to run smoothly. And you will definitely get it here at MGM. So we certainly want you to check it out at iFlyMGM.com and start your travels. As so many of our viewers and listeners have done, Barry, as many times as we've been here broadcasting from MGM, we've had so many people say, hey, hear you guys, watch you guys. Didn't really think of it much, but man, I have been lately, and I don't go anywhere but MGM when I start my travels.
Well, let's see. Evidently, there's something going on with my audio here.
Okay. How about mine? We're good there? I think so. Yeah.
Let's see.
Well, I do remember charging those. I made double sure that we did that, but don't know what we got.
Not sure why. We might be going both through your audio, and I don't know why. I couldn't tell. We'll have to work on that and figure it out.
We can do that on the fly. There's no doubt about that.
Turn it off and turn it back on again. See how it works there.
But you know, Barry, it is a big week, to say the least, in the world of college football, and I think we've been waiting for a weekend like this, well, since last year. We go through the summer, we go through media days, we go through preseason camp, we go through these, how should I put it, games that we have to play. Do we really have to play those? But yeah, I guess we do. Now we're getting into the meat of the schedule. And I think what do they say, wheat and chaff, something like that, separating?
Wheat and chaff.
Yeah, I've heard that before.
Yeah.
And I think this is one of those weekends.
I disagree.
Oh.
You know, the games we have to play.
Yeah.
Hope this is better, by the way.
Yeah.
I think it is.
I think it is.
But when it's the definition, I hate to get into pronouns with John. Okay. Pronouns are a big thing these days. But define games we have to play.
Yeah, okay.
By we,
yes.
Here's my guess of what John's referring to. He's not talking about West Texas State. He's not talking about Northern Arizona or Old Dominion or Western Kentucky. When he says games we have to play, those either mean the big boys.
Yep.
Or it means games that I have some sort of a betting interest in.
I can't argue.
We have to play.
You know, I cannot argue with that. I think yesterday I referred to it as must-see games instead of helmet games. People don't like the term helmet game. It kind of, separates you from the rest of the college football world. Kind of makes it out like we're better than everybody else.
Yes.
Yeah, and so I don't want to offend anybody.
Which is not necessarily the case.
No,
that's what it's difficult to quantify, because he's not talking about better in terms of
better football, because many times he has made the point that it doesn't really matter if Notre Dame's not any good.
Yeah.
We're not talking about Notre Dame playing football better than anybody else, or the Florida Gators playing football better than anybody else. Here's a hint, they're not. Whether or not Alabama and Georgia this weekend will be a better played football game than, say, Indiana at Iowa.
So
he's not talking about, people position it as, we're better. He's not talking about better in terms of actual competency and achievement. He's talking about better, meaning we consider ourselves better, regardless of some small little set to on a gridiron.
This might give it away a little bit, Barry. You're going to have to tell me how that Indiana-Iowa game plays out. I don't plan on watching
Two state institutions.
Yeah, I don't plan on watching it.
Yeah.
But I will say
Baylor,
this.
Oklahoma State this weekend.
Come on.
Georgia Tech at Wake Forest.
Might check the score. Might check the score. Might check the score.
Meaning if it's at the bottom of the scroll.
Tech's been kind
while he's watching
interesting to watch
the games
lately.
We want to play.
But I caught myself, and I mentioned this on the air, and I caught some feedback from it, Barry. When I made the comment, I thought that Stanford-Hawaii game was really entertaining. And somebody went, those teams are terrible. And I went, well, you're right, they are. But I did kind of find it a little entertaining. They don't play very good defense.
But they're the last game of the day, and I need to catch up.
Well, I think this was
got some ground to make up here.
Yeah, I think CBS broadcast that game, so you can tell there weren't a lot of great games that day.
Yeah.
But be that as it may,
this week leading up to it has been a pretty good week sports-wise. Bruce Pearl, Ryder Cup, But in terms of real hard-hitting run-up, some real fabulous stuff, there really hasn't been that.
It's been kind of quiet.
It's been quiet.
I'm with you. And
Alabama, Georgia, for goodness sake.
Yeah. I think things will ramp up.
Down.
Maybe today.
There's not much.
You get these press conferences during the middle of the week. DeBoer had his. Kirby Smart's had his. Probably the most interesting thing that I've seen this week so far, Barry, and didn't see it all, but I did see about the last 40 minutes of the many lives of Lane Kiffin last night, which was an E60 production on ESPN, and it was interesting. Most of it we had known. They went back to his days at the Raiders and when he was in Knoxville with the Tennessee Vols, and he went to Southern Cal and what happened after that and whatnot. And they interviewed all the players. Even Nick Saban chimed in on the telecast. But you saw a different side of Lane Kiffin, a guy that definitely has lost a lot of weight. Looking at some of the photos of, I guess after he left Alabama, he packed on the pounds. But he almost looks too thin now. When I was watching it last night, I went, wow, Lane, man, you got to eat a little bit here.
I
think he's gotten right with himself, with his family. They all live in Oxford now, except one of his daughters who plays volleyball at Southern Cal. But he seems to be in a real good place.
Good. He's a really good football coach. Oxford seems to agree with him.
I think so.
Maybe he's find peace and happiness and all of that in Oxford, Mississippi, and he'll spend the rest of his days there. I did read something about how he's, turned his life around. He's centered himself more. He's lost a lot of weight, like you said, largely due to hot yoga.
Yes.
What in the world is hot yoga?
Well, they turned
Is that
the heat
yoga
up.
That Kate Upton?
Yeah. It depends on how you look at it.
That's
Right.
exactly right.
I think there's there's a lot of these workout places around, and there's one called Hot Works, Hot Yoga. They jack the heat up. You're sweating. You're doing all this aerobic activity or workouts or whatnot. There was also, I guess it's still around, called Orange Theory.
Orange Theory.
Yeah.
Yeah, my buddy Justin down in Dothan.
There's
a big one in there.
Auburn was playing Ole Miss in Auburn at Jordan-Hare 4 or 5 years ago. And Ole Miss was in town, stayed the Renaissance in downtown Montgomery. A friend of mine who gets up early to go work out, member of Orange Theory, goes to Orange Theory at like 6 a.m. Day of the game, Saturday. Lane Kiffin's there, working out in her class at Orange Theory in Montgomery on Perry Hill Road before they travel to Auburn to take on the Tigers. So the guy's pretty serious about it. Guy's pretty serious about it. Yeah.
Is it? I got to get this chair right here. Yeah. Hang on just a moment. Live TV. Is it a one-part deal? Is it just this thing about Lane Kiffin, one show, boom, or is there?
Well, no. It was a 60-minute episode. They wanted him to be a part of that Netflix thing that they had over the summer. Right. He didn't want to do it.
Yeah.
Something else that a couple of years ago they wanted him to be a part of. He didn't want to do it. But they went back to him and said, look, we're going to give you and dedicate an entire hour to you. And he was a little bit more receptive to it. And there again, it talks about his days at the Raiders and, with Tennessee and everything that happened, getting fired on the tarmac. I didn't realize when they landed back at LAX, Pat Hayden was the AD. Kiffin received a note on the plane flying back from Tucson, I guess is where Arizona State is.
No, Tempe.
Tempe to LA. And he said, well, why am I waiting? Gets up from his seat, which was in coach. The AD was sitting in first class and going, wow, they throwing the coach back there too?
That's not why they call it coach. Because you're the coach. That's where you go. Come on.
He goes up to talk to Pat Hayden, who was asleep. His wife is sitting next to him. She looks at Kiffin in tears. He's going, that's not a good sign.
No.
They get to LAX.
She says, I'm sorry. This plane is for USC personnel only.
Yeah. They get to LAX. On the tarmac, they're talking. Lane tries to talk Pat Hayden out of it. He goes into an office, makes a phone call, comes back. Nope, already made their decision. You're out. So that's kind of how that played out.
Tries to talk his way out of it.
Yeah.
That's got to be difficult.
It is, Barry, believe me.
Pat, please.
Yeah, believe me. Yeah. I've tried to talk my way out of a few things myself over the years. But goes to Oxford, goes to Tuscaloosa, family stays in LA. He's in Tuscaloosa by himself. Maybe that's when he became Joey Freshwater. That one did not get brought up in the documentary.
Right.
Joey Freshwater was not brought up.
I imagine that was part of the terms of the agreement.
Interesting about his relationship with Saban. He did ask Saban and mentioned it about anger management. He says, Coach, why you're always so angry? And then Saban gave him an answer. I want to get my point across right here, right now. No dilly-dally, and you know where I stand. He goes, okay, I hear you. He said going from Pete Carroll to Nick Saban was,
180.
180.
Yeah.
Completely different. Really didn't know what he was getting himself into, but it was a great part of his life. Did regret how he left, going to Florida Atlantic before the national championship game. You live and learn. Sarkisian said, what are you doing? You got to play this thing out. But there again, water under the bridge. They've moved on. They've learned. But it's good. I'm sure to be on again on ESPN. It's part of their E60 series, The Many Lives of Lane Kiffin. And it's good. But boy, he has lost some weight, Barry. I'm going to tell you, he's almost too thin.
Woo. Working out.
Hadn't had a drink in 7 years.
How about that?
Yeah.
Living on carrot juice and soaking up rays. If he has a cheeseburger in paradise. The one thing that I saw yesterday that crossed my desk that was kind of interesting to me. I'm kind of nerdy. Arizona State. Arizona State will begin using facial recognition technology on a trial basis for student admission to football games as early as next month when they play Houston. It'll be well received by students and eventually all fans. The assistant AD in charge of stuff like that says, we feel really confident about it. As a student, if you enroll in this program, you walk through the gate, walk by the scanner, it'll turn green without ever having to take your ticket out or your phone, end quote. I don't know if I want my face on everybody's roll for that. I did talk with a buddy about it last night, and he said, man, I wish they'd had facial recognition technology for admission back whenever I was in Pi Kappa Phi, and we used to have that mixer. You know, you go, you know, you look at the scanner back in the back. No. Big definitely her. Yeah,
big
her,
red X pops up.
You know, can you have facial recognition technology available for admission to a football game in Tennessee? At Neyland Stadium, you're like, no, too many teeth.
Yeah, can't get in.
Too many teeth.
That
ain't a Tennessee person right there.
You know, Barry, in all seriousness, though, I think that's coming.
I do too.
I just think, there again, I don't want to alarm anybody, but let's face it, the society in which we live in today, there's a lot of bad people out there. There's a lot of bad things going on. And we saw it earlier this week out in Dallas with the ICE agents. I think that's coming. I think heightened security at big events. It's a big thing for the Super Bowl. You know, they really make sure security is at the highest level. But I think they're going to have to do it at all sporting events, Barry. You're getting 80,000, 90,000, 100,000 people in one location. I mean, come on.
Yeah, but you've got these people, you know, over there in log cabins in Idaho and stuff, and they're like, I'll never do that. I'll never submit to a big brother and all that.
Yeah.
And it ain't going to be seamless. But I thought that was interesting. That may be coming along with advertising on the field. Well, it's actually happened.
That's happened.
Advertising on uniforms. It's kind of happening there. All of that stuff at a college football stadium near you.
Yeah, I think it is, unfortunately. But we got some big games to talk about. As you mentioned, Alabama's at Georgia Saturday night. Going to be a big game there. Of course, Auburn traveling out to College Station to take on Texas A&M. Coming off that loss at Oklahoma last week, got to bounce back. Big bounce back game for the Tigers. And, of course, A&M coming off an off week, Barry, which is interesting. You kind of wonder about the scheduling there and how A&M maybe caught a little break there. What are your thoughts about this before we go to break?
All right.
I heard somebody make the comment, was it a good time for Alabama to have an off week? Kind of, a little momentum, after the tough loss in Tallahassee, they kind of got some things going. Ty Simpson was playing exceptionally well. Do you want to take a break?
Before the competition ramps up?
Yeah.
Because I'm telling you, you're feeling good after ULM. You're feeling good after Wisconsin. You want to keep that rolling. Instead, you have a few 3-and-outs on your first couple of series, and you're like, I've lost my mojo.
Yeah.
All of a sudden you get dealt a couple of cards, and you're thinking, wait a minute, come on now. I was hot, and I went to the restroom.
Yeah.
What was I thinking?
You come out those first couple of series, 3-and-outs, maybe a turnover. You're going,
The mojo is gone.
Okay, can't do that.
Well,
all right, so Barry, here in about 10, 15 minutes or so, we've got our man Jason Caldwell from Auburn Undercover. Going to check in with him as the Tigers get ready to take on Texas A&M. Rodney Orr, the Tiger Insider, at the top of hour number 2, presented by the Destin Connection Seafood Market, the freshest seafood direct from the Gulf, arriving daily at the Destin Connection. And our man Josh Harris, the money line magician. I know Theotis is really excited about that. That's at the bottom of hour number 2.
Theotis says, man, my cup runneth over. I got Rodney and Josh today. You do. And we are live at the Montgomery Regional Airport. FlyMGM.com for all of the flight details, all the informational details. It's Longshore and McKnight in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light.
Marguerite's Exquisite Jewelry and Longshore and McKnight are giving you the opportunity to win a 1-carat lab-grown diamond valued at $500. Pick the exact score for either the Auburn or Alabama games each week. Limit 1 entry per person, per household, per game. You can enter anytime beginning Monday morning the week of the games, and all entries must be received before kickoff of each game. Enter by emailing your picks to longshoreandmcknight@gmail.com. That's longshoreandmcknight@gmail.com. And in the subject line, type in diamonds. 1 additional entry to win a 1-carat natural diamond valued at $3,000 will be up for all weekly winners to pick the score in the national championship game. Marguerite's Exquisite Jewelry, 8163 Vaughan Road in Peppertree, adjacent to Chappie's Deli. Open 7 days a week, or check them out at marguerites.com. At Marguerites, they make it. They really make it.
The dreams that matter most happen while we're awake, because they're the ones that remind us of the places we want to go, of the ideas we plan to pursue, of the legacies we hope to leave. We understand you have goals to meet, and we want to help you reach them, to fuel your vision and invest in whatever motivates you. So we want to know, what inspires you? Synovus Bank, member FDIC.
Stivers Ford of Montgomery has F-150s over $16,000 off plus 2.9%. And your last chance for a tax credit on Lightnings. $17,000 in savings or 0% or $349 a month with zero down.
Stivers Ford, where price sells Fords.
Stivers Ford of Montgomery has Broncos under $35,000. Bronco Sports under $24,000. Rockies under $29,000 or $299 a month with zero down. And new Explorers $10,000 off or 2.9%.
Stivers Ford, where price sells Fords.
Okay, back at it here on this Thursday, Longshore McKnight. Presented by Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy, in association with our good friends at Yellowhammer News and yellowhammernews.com. You can check us out there on their website, video content, or write up about the day's show each and every afternoon. Also on Facebook, on YouTube, Instagram, X, Spotify, Apple iTunes. So many ways to check us out, whether you want to watch us or listen to us. Some people do tell us, Barry, I'd rather just listen to you guys. I can't look at you two guys. Y'all aren't the best looking guys I've ever seen.
Some people are frustrated because when we get Rodney on or we get Travis on, it's usually our Alabama guests. They're usually not on video, and they're thinking, wait a minute, we're listening to him, but we got to look at you. That's a tough trade-off.
Yeah, I get it. Barry, you mentioned the Ryder Cup. Looking forward to it. It is a lot of pomp and circumstance. I will give you that.
It's very frou-frou.
It is very frou-frou.
Practice round today. Rain all day in the forecast at Bethpage Black.
Hey.
But they are.
Got to play.
They're out. I think they start practice rounds for the Euros start at 10 o'clock Central.
Mm-hmm.
The United States practice plans for the day are still to be determined. They ain't going to be out there playing golf in the rain.
Well, Barry, it's like football practice. Sometimes you got to practice in the rain because you might play in the rain. Same thing with golf. So I need to go out there and check it out, see what the conditions are like when it's a little wet, little moist, things of that nature, a little muddy. Bethpage Black.
You wouldn't do it.
No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't.
Let's be real here.
I've played golf a lot in the rain. It is kind of, your gloves getting wet, your grips are getting wet, you're getting wet, you're trying to keep everything dry. It's tough to do, but you got to do it. Unlike baseball and golf, you got to play in the rain unless it's lightning, which they don't play any sport in the lightning. But it's at Bethpage Black, a public facility, beautiful golf course. I think it's going to be a great test. Last night, they had kind of an opening ceremony, national anthem, flyovers, all this type of stuff. It was amazing, just the setup that they have up there in the grandstands and the set for the whole thing. But what I've always thought was kind of interesting, and this is just maybe the frou-frou-ness of it. I know that's a lot of
not
words.
even a word.
I know, but you know what I mean.
All right.
They had the teams laid out up there on the stage. And the way that they dress these guys, all the Americans are dressed alike, sport coats, ties, trousers.
Where did they come from? Gotcha.
They are dressed to the nines, looking good, getting ready for the competition. Their wives are on the front row, all have the same dress on. The wives are dressed alike.
Do we like that? Is that cool? Do we?
I thought it was kind of interesting.
You do that if you're cheerleaders. You do that if you're bridesmaids.
Yeah. I guess they are both, actually, in this event. They are cheerleaders and they kind of are bridesmaids.
Fair point.
In this event. But they're all dressed alike. But just the production of putting this on, the cost of it's got to be enormous.
but they did show some highlights, and they talked a lot about how golf is played at Augusta and at the U.S. Open and other major events where it's, a little more hush-hush.
Well,
It's a little bit more refined, maybe I would say. The Ryder Cup, there's going to be a little jabbing, a little smack talking, a little, raise the roof by the players, which I kind of like. The team aspect of it, I think, brings that out in these guys.
For the first time ever, they've always had a charitable component to compensation for the golfers in the recent past. They were given $200,000 per participant to donate to a charity of their choice.
Yep.
This time, the players have $300,000
inflation
to go to a charity of their choice, and for the first time ever, a $200,000 stipend to spend as they wish. Expenses.
Sure.
That's never happened. First of a kind stipend. A lot of noise during this week. Luke Donald, who I've heard of Luke Donald.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know he was a Euro. I thought he was one of us. He says, this isn't a week to get paid.
Good
I
point.
feel like if you have those experiences that you remember for the rest of your life, man, that's worth more than a couple $100,000 in the back of your pocket. I really want to agree with him here, but man, I would imagine I've never had a couple of $100,000 in my back pocket, so I don't know how it feels like. But
and I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
I mean, from you and me and every other Joe out there, I want the $200,000. But these guys have made a lot of money on the tour, sponsorship deals, whatever. And I'm with Luke Donald. I think one of the highest honors of being a professional golfer would be to make the Ryder Cup team and represent your country. I think that would be so cool to do. It's kind of like being in the Olympics. I think being an Olympian would be really, really cool.
Yeah.
Okay, NFL,
they pay
great,
them too.
NBA, Major League Baseball, big-time college football, I get it. But those things to me are above and beyond. Representing your country in the Olympics, on the Ryder Cup, to me, that's really cool. Money's not the issue.
Well, here's the way it's played out. Basically, the U.S. says that it's framed as a payment. It's a stipend. It's not like real money.
Yeah.
It's a stipend. Scotty Scheffler says, look, I don't like to give charitable dollars for some kind of recognition. We have something planned for the money that we'll be receiving, and all that. The Euros, and the Americans, they're getting paid for it. The Euros say it's a rejection out of principle because it's just the experience we're after. And the Euros have kind of muddied it all up for the Americans. The Americans get all this money, and the Euros say, well, we're playing just for the pride of representing our country. And the Americans are like, okay, fine, sure, yeah, you do that,
Yeah. So
we're crass and we're greedy and we're money hungry and all. $200,000, they tell me, for a top flight PGA professional, pocket change.
I mean, some of these guys are making more of that in appearance fees at some of these events that they have. So, yeah, I'm with you there. I think they could, can they not get to Bethpage on their own? They got to have $200,000 to get an airplane ticket or a private jet or whatever it may be. I don't know about that one, but I'm looking forward to the competition. Unfortunately, Bear, why does it have to happen during one of the biggest weekends in college football? I mean, can we not do this maybe when there's nothing else going on?
When is there nothing else going on?
Oh, I can tell you, middle of the summer, when it's just wall-to-wall Major League Baseball, and we're hearing, well, the Braves still have a chance. Oh, I understand.
That was way early this summer.
Yeah, I understand they lost last night.
That was in a very, very early section of
so
the
let's
summer.
have the Ryder Cup in the middle of the summer when all we have to deal with is the agony of Major League Baseball games every day.
Well,
that's just me. All right.
John would be watching it. Don't get him
wrong.
You
bet. Hey, I bet, I got to think. Yeah, I got to think Jason Caldwell's going to take a little look at the Ryder Cup. I know there's a lot of football going on, but a little peek, as I will be as well. He'll join us when we return.
Have we been on a losing streak with the Ryder Cup? Have the Euros been getting over?
I try not to talk about it.
Okay, all right.
I try not to talk about it.
Jason joins us next from AuburnUndercover.com. It's Longshore and McKnight live at the Montgomery Regional Airport. Getting better the more you use it. It's Longshore and McKnight in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light.
Why Hands? At Hands Heating and Air, you get this area's highest ranked service provider with 24-hour repair service, no overtime charges, and their same-day service guarantee. Plus, instead of other companies' 30-day repair warranty, Hands gives you a 3-year repair warranty. Hands Heating and Air is here for you 24/7, 365. And service is not just something they do, it's their way of operating, for you in mind. All of Hands employees are trained to adhere to this standard. They work hard to ensure that this standard is maintained, and they are constantly looking for new ways to better serve you. Call Hands Heating and Air today at 508-5382. That's 508-5382, or find them on the web at 834hands.com.
Summer's here, and so too are its many challenges. Heat that won't quit, beers that won't fit, hammocks that won't hammock, screen doors that appear out of nowhere, flips that flop a little too much. That's why it's important to keep it simple. Keep it cool, keep them coming, and keep it easy. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Bud Light.
All guests of Longshore McKnight appear on the City of Montgomery guest hotline. Check out the most interesting and informed personalities in sports covering Auburn, Alabama, Troy, ASU, and all the major teams from across the country. John and Barry have the best guests brought to you by the City of Montgomery. To find out everything you need to know that is going on in the capital city, check out montgomeryal.gov. That's montgomeryal.gov, the capital of dreams.
Okay, we're back at it here live at the Montgomery Regional Airport. It's Longshore and McKnight on this Thursday. And you know what that means? This time of the show, our man Jason Caldwell, Auburn Undercover, joins us. Hey, Jason, good morning. How you doing today?
I'm good. How about you guys?
We're doing really well, but we're anxious to get a perspective from you on the size, the impact, and the run-up to Bruce Pearl's retirement, Jason.
Yeah, I guess first you just talk about impact. It's just not Auburn basketball. I don't think Alabama basketball is where it is today if Auburn doesn't get started first with Bruce Pearl. I think they responded to what Auburn had done and what Bruce Pearl had done, and it's now taken basketball to a place that we've never seen in this state before. And so I think Bruce Pearl's hire and Auburn's success had a whole lot to do with that. So And
Jason, just to interject, I heard Chris Stewart make that same comment earlier this week.
And honestly, because of that, I think the rest of the league has kind of followed suit. I mean, really for much of the last, you can say 40 years, but I'm 53 years old. It was Kentucky, and then Alabama was good in the SEC, but it never really carried further than that. LSU made the Final Four. Then Arkansas comes in the league, and you go, okay, well, Arkansas is going to be really good. And they were for about a 10-year stretch, and then they kind of fell off too. This is really the first time where you look across the league and you go, everybody's invested in basketball. And I think when people saw that Auburn could do it, they're like, well, if Auburn can do it, we can too. And so I think it's had that kind of impact as well across the league. So, just when you start talking about, for much of my lifetime, when you talked about Auburn basketball, it was always about a player, whether it was Charles Barkley or Chuck Person or Chris Porter, or it was always player. Now, when you talk about Auburn basketball, it's going to be about Bruce Pearl. It's going to be about a coach. And that's what you hear when you talk about programs. And I think he's put Auburn on the map as a program, and I never thought that was possible.
Were you surprised?
Not really. There've been some hints. When you start talking about, hey, I'm not going to do this much longer. We had some of those ambush tour things, and Stephen Pearl was talking and in the place of the head coach at some of those ambush tour events that we were at this summer. So that gave me a little bit of a pause going, okay, maybe this is reality, or maybe this could be happening. And so for me, once that started happening, in the back of my mind, I was always like, maybe this is, hey, go out there and do this to see if you can handle it. But maybe it was Bruce Pearl's way of pulling back to see if he could handle it too. So not a huge surprise, maybe timing a little bit, but honestly, even that, not a big surprise. I think you get to the point where you go, okay, it's time. Are you ready? And he goes, no, I'm not. Then that was it.
You know, we've seen it with other well-known coaches in college basketball that have had a lot of success. We saw it at North Carolina, at Duke, heck, at Virginia last year about this same time of year. Do you think, Jason, that maybe just the way college athletics and college basketball has changed with the NIL and the transfer portal and everything else, that had something to do with it?
I don't think there's any question. It's such a different world now in every sport. When you start talking about everything that's involved, you make a lot of money, but there's a lot of stress and there's not much downtime at all. And so I think you look at it across every sport, but it seems like it's more prevalent in basketball than it is in anything else, where guys go, hey, I'm done. That's it. And it's abruptly when it happens. It seems like it's been the basketball guys more than anything. And so, I think NIL, recruiting, the calendar, everything involved has probably and the fact that guys have made money. Or so you look at it and go, look, I don't have to keep doing this. I'm okay. That's probably a factor as well. Because I know if somebody said, hey, well, I'm not really enjoying my job anymore, but I've got $15 million in the bank, it'd probably be a little bit easier for me to get to say I'm done. I'm ready to do something else.
Final question about the subject from me. Stephen Pearl, how well suited is he to succeed immediately?
I've made this comparison a couple of times this week. If his name was Stephen Jones and not Stephen Pearl, then most of the people around the country would go, well, this looks just like Buke. It looks just like John Shire taking over for Coach K. But because his name's Stephen Pearl, people go, well, he did it because it's his son. This has been the guy who's been there with him the whole time, has watched this entire thing and has been a part of every level. So to me, and Stephen Pearl said it perfectly yesterday. There's no need to blow it up, because why would you? Why would you start over when you got going on what you got going on now? And so I thought the biggest part of his entire press conference and media outing yesterday was how many times he reiterated the fact that this was a staff hire and not a me hire. He talked about Ira Bowman. He talked about all these guys, Corey Williams and Ian Borders and Mike Burgermaster, to say, hey, look, we've got everybody still here. It's still the same staff. Nothing's changed. I thought that was a big part of this, because if you do this in early May, then you may have to build a new staff. You might have to build a new roster, and the whole thing might have blown up. Mm-hmm. Now you got a year where you're like, okay, look, we're keeping everything exactly as it is. And I think that was probably a big part of this.
Shifting to football, Jason, we talked about it all summer. We knew this was going to be a gauntlet with the schedule. Back-to-back conference road games. How has practice been this week, preparing, getting ready for Texas A&M, getting on the road once again?
I think it's just part of life, and it's going to be difficult. And when you play in the Southeastern Conference, what's ahead of you. So I think you looking at this schedule, hey, look, these first 5 weeks before a bye week are going to be a challenge. So you look and you go, okay, you're sitting here at 3-1, got a chance to be 4-1 after 5 weeks with 3 road trips. That'd be pretty darn good. And hey, you had a chance to win Saturday, multiple chances in many different ways to win Saturday, and came up a little short. Different type of team coming up this weekend. I don't, now they may be fooled, but I don't imagine that the defense that Auburn's going to see Saturday. I mean, Notre Dame scored 40 against Texas A&M. I don't think they're terrible, but that Oklahoma defense was really good. Offensively, though, they're probably better than what Auburn saw last weekend against Oklahoma. So you're going to have a challenge. It's going to be a different type of game. Can you go out and make enough plays and make key plays? That's still the part about getting over the hump. Can you make key plays in key moments? And that's going to be the story on Saturday.
Well, I think I know the answer to this already because I read your stuff after the loss to Oklahoma, and you never make excuses, and you almost never mention the referees, but there are fans out there that are still smarting over a couple of the calls or non-calls in that Oklahoma loss. How would you address those fans?
Yeah, the first thing I said was, look, even with everything that happened, if you don't make critical mistakes and you make a couple of plays, you probably win that game by double digits, and you probably should have. A couple of missed throws, Cam Coleman slowed down on one, then the special teams issues, all those things that were in your control. If you make just some of those plays, you win a football game. But it makes the other plays probably even bigger when that didn't happen, because you look and go, even with all those mistakes that you made, to me, and I still come back to, I mean, hey, whatever, the cheating play, I still don't quite understand. I don't care what people tell me, what they say they said to the refs, whatever. All I know is they told them, look, you can't do this. This is not in the rule book any longer. You can't do it. And they did it, and it was legal and that day because nobody called it. The other one to me is the fumble, non-fumble, catch on the sideline at the end of the game for Oklahoma are two plays to me that they're either one or the other. Either you get 2 feet down and you got the ball in your hands and you don't control the catch, or you didn't control the catch and it's an incomplete pass. My thought was, it's either a fumble or he's down, or it's either a catch or not. To me, I just didn't understand how one could be one and one could be the other when they look like they have the same parameters in terms of the way you're judging it. Because that was all the things that happened, the first possession of the game ended up being the most impactful. Because instead of you scoring a touchdown, you give up a field goal, and that's 10 points. That's a 10-point swing on one play. That's the biggest one. But in the end, you got to make plays, and Auburn didn't make enough plays to win the game.
Jason, your thoughts about the SEC schedule release, the annual opponents, and the setup for the next 4 seasons?
Yeah. When you have 16 teams in this league, you're going to lose rivalry games. Everything is going to look completely different. Because, I mean, we remember this, in 1992 and then in 2012, there were lots of games that changed. And so you just have to, it's just part of life that you accept now when you have 16 teams. When you play 9 games, it's going to be really hard at times because it's luck of the draw. Because you look at it and you go, man, Auburn got fortunate. If you said this 10 years ago, you said, I mean, Auburn's playing Missouri and Vanderbilt. You go, that's great. That's awesome. Well, you'd probably much rather be playing Florida than you would one of those 2 schools. You just don't know how it works out. You really don't. But you look and you go, the 5 and 4, when you have those 5 road games every year, that's when it's going to be impactful. And that's where it's going to be really hard for Auburn, because the 5 road game year for them is going to be including at Alabama and at Georgia the same year.
They're never going to change that. They are dug in on that issue at the SEC office.
The problem this year is that it happened this year. If 2026 you did it and planned for the schedule change in 2027, then Auburn could have doubled up, made a road trip to Georgia for the 2nd year in a row. Then you could have balanced the schedule out. But because it happened this year, the only way it was going to change was Alabama coming to Auburn twice, and I don't think they were interested in doing that. No. Or Auburn going to Georgia 3 straight years, which was not going to happen. That's the only way to balance it out because of when it fell in terms of the schedule realignment.
Yeah.
So, if you wait 1 more year and you do it, then you could have gone to Georgia in back-to-back years, repaid them for doing that, and then you could have had the alternating home and away, Alabama, Georgia games. But now for at least the next 4 years, it's going to be, you're going to have 2 5-game SEC schedules that also include trips to Alabama and Georgia the same year.
And I don't think we'll ever see a season where the Auburn and Alabama don't play. But, Jason, it looks like there could be a season that Auburn and Georgia don't play and Alabama and Tennessee don't play when they reevaluate this in 4 years.
Yeah, it's interesting because I guess everything's going to depend on this 10-game, how good everybody's been in 10 years to try to balance the schedule out. And you know what? It's in baseball, they've done it where they basically say, hey, look, we just throw this into a computer and it spits it out. Here's what it is.
Right.
I would hate it. But like I said, when it is the byproduct of expanding to 16 teams, where you're going, okay, what's the end goal right now? Well, the end goal right now is they try to protect, rivalry games and geographical rivalry games as much as possible. And I like that. But right now, it's obvious. The end goal for this league is, hey, how many teams can we get in the playoffs? Well, if that's the end goal, then you better balance out the schedule for everybody as much as possible. And so, and right now, there's no question. The end game for everybody involved is to see how many teams you can get in the playoffs.
And I think it's going to be interesting, Jason, to see now that this has been announced, what's going to happen with Power 4 non-conference games, because that's something the league has mandated as well. So not only have you got those non-conference games, you got to put a P4 non-conference game in there as well.
Yeah, and most of the teams in this league had already scheduled that game. What you'll do is you'll lose one of the other smaller games, and that's where it's going to be impactful for those mid-major programs around the country, because most of them are now going to lose $1 million plus game that is a big part of the budget for them when you do this. Right. Now.
Yeah.
Again, it's about playoffs and selling tickets and doing things. And when you have more quality football games, you're going to do that. That's going to be part of it as well. But I think you start looking at it going, look, you got to balance the schedule out because of the 4-5. Now you got to have the home game as that extra home game. So you got to make it work opposite years for somebody else. So it's going to be a challenge to see how those things work out now moving forward.
My final thing, Jason, I've always said this over the last 30, 35 years. There are a lot of Auburn fans who don't give enough credit or remember like they should some really good running backs. Cam Petway, Cameron Artis-Payne, Ben Tate, you can go down through the list. I think maybe the most underrated running back that Auburn fans even now don't give enough credit to for the impact he had on the program was Rudy Johnson. You had a really nice 2-minute timeout about his passing at the age of 45 earlier this week.
Yeah, he took a team that probably had no business being in the SEC championship game and got them there. His one season, it didn't end the same way that Cam Newton's did, but his one season was it ran for 1,500 yards, and got a team, like he put a team on his back. He was as impactful, yes, at running back. He set the tone for the next 4 years to get to 2004. No question in my mind. That season kind of set the tone for them. And so, yeah, Rudy Johnson was a phenomenal football player to watch. And I remember when they're recruiting him and they're going to watch Daniel Cobb play quarterback. They're like, oh, you need a quarterback. You got Ronnie Brown, you need a quarterback. And they come back and go, and the running back's the dude. And he ran for 375 yards. They won back-to-back national championships. And he shows up, and all of a sudden you go, yeah, that guy looks like he's a grown man, and he was. And he was a grown man playing college football and had a great NFL career too. Just a sad moment to hear about that. Think about a guy that, obviously it's been 25 years ago, but I still remember, watching him and his feet and how good he was and enjoying it from the sidelines.
I hope everybody remembers and puts that in the proper perspective. Jason, so much stuff going on. Give us an idea of how we can access everything that is being cranked out on a constant basis at auburnundercover.com.
Yep, like I said, got tons of things going on. A lot of basketball reaction from yesterday still, but shift gears back again to a big football game, another top 10 road test. And so we're doing that today. So offensive preview up for Texas A&M today. We'll get Hugh Freeze here in a couple of hours to kind of talk about how the week's going for them, and some injury updates. The team a little banged up. You head into this one this weekend, but that's what you kind of expect when you have this kind of schedule to start a year. So kind of get some injury updates for them, but you can find it all at auburnundercover.com, part of 24/7. All of our social media channels, YouTube page, do all of our podcasts and all those things as well. So come check us out as we get ready for the third road trip in 5 weeks.
Yeah, wow. Been traveling a lot, no doubt. Hey, Jason, as always, thank you so much for your time. We greatly appreciate it. Have a great weekend. We'll talk next Thursday.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you, buddy. Jason Caldwell, Auburn Undercover. Auburn will be leaving out of Montgomery Regional Airport, Barry, as they head out to College Station to take on Texas A&M on Saturday afternoon. A lot of activity here in the terminal here at MGM. Travelers getting ready to head out, checking in, heading up through TSA, and probably grabbing some of that great Dunkin' Donuts coffee, right?
Man,
when you go through it. Love it.
Raving about that.
Man.
I read earlier this summer that for those fans who are planning to go to the Auburn-Missouri game later on, American Airlines here at MGM has added a direct flight service.
Yeah, how about that?
For that game as well. Between St. Louis and MGM coming up in October as well. Again, getting better the more you use it.
These airlines have kind of gotten smart, Barry. They realize college football is huge in the South, and I've noticed this over the years. Saturday's normally known as kind of a slower travel day in the airline business.
I get that.
A lot of charters and this, that, and the other. So maybe they've got some planes that aren't being used as they use Monday through Friday. They say, hey, let's use them for these football fans. And so they'll have these trips to locations throughout the South to get these fans to these games. That's a great way to get to the game, and a great way to and the convenience of it as well. So many great convenient things going on here at MGM with flights, to Atlanta, Charlotte, Dallas, Fort Worth, and Washington's Reagan National Airport. And you can get to points all over the globe from those destinations, or maybe you're just going to one of those destinations, and you can do it right here from MGM parking, just a few short steps away from the terminal building. You zip in through check-in, go up the escalator through TSA, and you're ready to go. Usually, Barry, from leaving in the morning, my routine, go through TSA, get a cup of coffee at Dunkin'. If it's usually after lunch, then I head over there to runway 27 and get an ice-cold sponsor product, the ice-cold Bud Light, as we get ready to board the plane. It's awesome. Can't beat it.
Country we live in.
It's great.
For more information about what I'm talking about, specifically the Missouri-Auburn game, flight, or really anything, flight times, amenities, like John's mentioning, anything having to do with the Montgomery Regional Airport. The web address is flymgm.com. John and I are right here in the terminal, very conveniently located. It's the Montgomery Regional Airport. Coming up at the top of the hour, it's Rodney Orr, the Tider Insider, presented by the Destin Connection Seafood Market. Longshore and McKnight, in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light.
You're not buying sticks, stems, and pine cones. You're buying premium long-diddle pine straw from River Region Straw. Kenny and his staff have access to the best pine straw in the River Region, full of color that will last all season long. Kenny has locations in Montgomery, Prattville, and Auburn, and no order is too big or too small, from a few bales to an 18-wheeler trailer load. Pickup is available, or your order can be delivered. They can even spread your pine straw if you like. So call or text Kenny today, 669-5959. That's 669-5959 for all of your pine straw needs. Sure.
On the basketball court, the soccer pitch, or even the golf course, your crew brings their best not just for the win, but for that post-game celebration.
When victory tastes like Michelob Ultra, it's worth every drop of sweat. And if you don't win, you'll still get the beer. It's just on you. Superior is worth playing for. Michelob Ultra, 2.6 carbs, 95 calories. Superior light beer. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2025, Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
At Dixie Overhead Door, we specialize in top-quality garage door solutions for homes across Alabama and Georgia. In need of a garage door repair or a brand new garage door installation, our expert team delivers fast, reliable service with local expertise that you can trust, providing customized solutions and exceptional care every step of the way. Visit us today at DixieOverheadDoor.com and experience the Dixie difference.
Okay, back here live at the Montgomery Regional Airport. A lot happening here, Barry, at the airport. We noticed it. We've been coming out here years and years. We have seen the increase in travel, the increase in passengers, people traveling in and out of MGM. They've realized that they figured it out. It's about ease of travel, convenience, and it's certainly economical as well. When you add it all up, Barry, there's no other reason but to come right here to MGM. And with that added flight for the Auburn, Missouri game, I mean, that's just another great example of what they're doing to work to help their customers make their travel easier. Just a great zip over to St. Louis and head to Columbia. You can't beat it.
Brittany was over here. We love talking with Brittany Jones-Dabney. She's the marketing and communications manager for the Montgomery Regional Airport. During this break, she was telling us they've still got a few more seats for that flight. Go to flymgm.com, but the response has been really good, and they've still got a couple of more opportunities there. Again, it'll be a broader initiative by American Airlines. The partnership between MGM and American Airlines is growing all the time, John.
No doubt.
They the inbound will be Thursday, October 17th from St. Louis to MGM, and then the return Sunday, October 19th, MGM to St. Louis. It's just really easy. Just go to flymgm.com. One other thing that she reminded us of, today is Thursday, the 25th. If you're traveling in and out today specifically, if you're watching this, with their absolutely rock solid devotion to security and efficiency, starting in about 2 hours from our live show from now, it'll be at 10 a.m. They're conducting a full-scale emergency plan exercise in partnership with local, state, and federal EMAs out there. It's mandated by the FAA, but it goes every 3 years. It just happens to be starting this morning. That'll simulate a large-scale aircraft incident. It's just simulating it, and it'll allow MGM and first responders and mutual aid agencies to test pretty much everything: communications, coordination, resource deployment. Again, so if you're in this morning traveling and you hear response activity, a siren or two, if you see emergency vehicles around the airport during the exercise, normal airport operations are not going to be disrupted. They're just making sure that they have everything coordinated for your safety.
Sure, as you would want it to be. So, just a little FYI, if you're heading out this way today, you will see a little bit of that going on. Okay, so, man, great stuff from Jason Caldwell from Auburn Undercover with Auburn basketball, Bruce Pearl, and, of course, what's coming up against Texas A&M. I thought it was interesting, Barry. I hadn't really thought about it until he hit on it. A&M gave him up a ton of points to Notre Dame a couple of weeks ago in South Bend. But offensively, I think Texas A&M is legit. I think that's going to be Auburn's biggest thing to deal with out in College Station on Saturday is that Texas A&M offense.
Well, it's I love their quarterback. Marcel Reed has really kind of grown into that. He's always had potential, but in the past, he's kind of running around like crazy and improvising and stuff. He's a lot more in tune with what they want on offense. The other thing you got to deal with is they're weird out there, man.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you'll see guys in uniform in the stands that aren't in the military. They're wearing khakis. They've got name plates. shine their shoes and creases in their pants and all that kind of stuff. They're no more in the military than me and John are.
No.
But, and they'll do push-ups when they score, and you'll have these male cheerleaders that look like they're dressed up in ice cream uniforms, all white, and they'll lead 1920s cheers and stuff. It's just a little creepy in there.
What's with the collie?
Reveille?
Yeah. Well,
what does a collie have to do with Texas A&M?
I wonder.
Excellent question.
I've always
You're
wondered
asking
that.
the right questions.
Yeah, it's a good-looking dog. A lot better than that dog in Knoxville.
Or that dog in Athens that Bama fans you're going to have to see on television about 350,000 times.
Yeah, you will.
Yeah.
Uga's got the air-conditioned doghouse.
Yes.
What Uga are we on now? Like Uga 8 or something?
No, it's like Uga 17 or
Uga
something
17.
like that. Again, as a Christian, I don't believe in reincarnation, but if I did, I would have wanted to come back as either Secretariat or Uga. Mike the Tiger, not so much, because they're supposed to be active, and he's in that cage outside. He gets fed all he wants.
Yeah.
But Uga and that whatever the name of that hog is in Arkansas, they live the life.
I don't want to offend anybody.
Uga doesn't have to live on campus and
No.
get his own apartment,
Sure.
kind of like sophomores.
I'm sure the ladies are coming by to see him.
Yep.
Yeah, I would
He
think so.
gets his picture taken
Yeah.
every once in a while, a selfie with a cute girl. He's like,
I never went to vet school, believe it or not. But
Seth Williams has swept one out here and there.
But Barry, I am told that bulldogs aren't the healthiest of all dogs.
They got sinus problems.
Yeah.
I mean, if they ever invent, I got to get Jason Jones on this at CPAP Plus. If they ever invent dog CPAPs, bulldogs would be first.
You're right. They're always slobbering, in the drool.
They snore.
Yeah.
They can't
They
breathe.
run around. They have short, stubby legs. They're running. I think they're going to fall over. But they are kind of cute. All right, Rodney Orr is the Tider Insider. He joins us each and every Thursday, sponsored exclusively by the Destin Connection Seafood Market, 3750 Norman Bridge Road. The freshest seafood direct from the Gulf arrives daily at the Destin Connection. I'm heading down to the beach this weekend. I'm picking up my seafood tomorrow at Destin Connection and taking it down there.
Yes.
And cooking it up Friday night, maybe Saturday during the halftime of the game. But I ain't dealing with those folks down there. I'm getting my seafood fresh from David Scott at the Destin Connection. You should too. 288-4272 is the number to call for pickup orders. It'll be ready for you at the drive-through window.
Rodney joins us, TiderInsider.com. Good morning to you, Rodney.
Hey, guys. How's it going this morning?
It's going well. What's the week been like for the Crimson Tide?
Well, pretty quiet, actually. Of course, they had off last week. They did practice Thursday and Friday, and then off Saturday. They got back to it Sunday with their normal, typical Sunday practice. And then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday today. So, and then obviously tomorrow will be a really light, I guess, to walk through whatever they're going to do when they travel over to Georgia. But so it's been kind of quiet. I mean, obviously, a lot of talk about the guys that are coming back. Will be back. Jam Miller, Tim Keenan, all both expected back. Those are the two main ones. Of course, Jaden Roberts got back into the groove a little bit last couple of weeks. So that's been really, kind of the most of it. Of course, then kind of what we're going to talk about, the game itself.
Yeah, and I'm with you, Rodney. To me, it does seem a little quiet. I know they're coming off an off week. Coach DeBoer had his press conference earlier in the week. So did Kirby Smart. Maybe the buildup and the hype in previous years seemed to be greater than it has been this year. Maybe because Alabama's already had a loss this season, but it has been kind of quiet. I'm kind of hoping things ramp up today and tomorrow leading up to the Saturday night kickoff.
I hope we haven't lost you.
Hope we haven't lost
just judging the gauge. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we got you.
Yep. Okay, just judging the gauge from TiderInsider.com. It's I'm a little surprised at the. I don't think expectations are as high among as many people as it normally is. In other words, I think there's some people who have already written this Alabama team off. And I think there are some that have certainly written off at least this game. So that's the feel it has. I haven't seen this in a while. But now there's a sizable portion of the fan base that still has those high expectations in this game and for this season. So but it is kind of sprinkled in there with a lot of people that say, hey, you know what? It'll be a miracle if we go over there and win this game.
What is the status of the linebacker, Jamarian Latham? And if he doesn't play, what's the impact?
Yeah, I mean, Jamarian is I think he'll be okay. I know they were holding him for further evaluations and stuff, but based on what I've heard, they think he'll be fine. Now, will he return to the team? This is his 6th year. And again, I don't want to speculate too much, but it wouldn't surprise me if he said, hey, this is it for me. And again, I mean, he's a guy that would add some depth at that outside linebacker spot. He was originally a defensive lineman, lost some weight so he could try to find a spot on the field. But, you always like to have those guys around their leaders. But, I mean, in terms of just actual production and contribution, I don't think it's going to have a significant impact.
Certainly looks like Jam Miller and Tim Keenan are going to be able to play on Saturday. How big is that for this team?
I think it's big. They need everything they can get, actually. Tim Keenan is a really good interior defensive lineman. He's the leader of the group. He's kind of I always call him a blue-collar leader. I mean, he's a guy that, he's not a Jonathan Allen. He's not a Deron Payne, but he's a really good player. And he's got a lot of grit to him. And he's, he's just everything he does is he provides leadership. So I think it's really big to have him on the field. He's a big physical body that would be really valuable against Georgia's run game because they're going to try to get physical up front. Georgia will. Mm-hmm. So I think that. But Jam Miller, John and Barry, listen, got to get this running game going somehow. I mean, you've got to. Yes. And again, I think it's probably a combination that the running backs have shown some flashes, but there's not a lot of experience there, not a lot of carries. Jam brings that. And then, obviously your offensive line needs to really play with consistency.
Rodney, the numbers for the Dogs in Athens are pretty daunting. They've won 33 straight games at home dating back to 2019. They're under Kirby Smart. They're 52-4 at home. But a lot of people are saying this Georgia team hasn't exactly sparkled in the early part of the year. What do you think?
Well, I think it goes back to what we've talked about the last year or two, and the NIL, the portal, all of those things that impact your depth. I mean, I do think that Kirby had the system there. He took Saban's system, and they just don't pile up the depth and the high quality. They have high quality players. They just don't have that depth that they once had. And some of the talent that they used to would get is like they lost a 5-star defensive lineman from their own state that went to Texas. They lost another player this year. So, I mean, it's just the NIL, the portal has had a big impact on what they were. But now you look at this year's team, they're still a good team. I mean, look, I don't see a team in the country that plays with the mental toughness and the physical toughness or more physical toughness than Georgia. I mean, we saw that in the Tennessee game. Tennessee probably should have won that game. They had an opportunity to win the game. And Georgia makes all the key plays down the stretch. So we'll start with Gunnar Stockton, the quarterback. He's not a great player. He's got limitations, but he makes plays when he has to. He was like 21 of 30-something, 32 against Tennessee for over 300 yards. He hit that crucial 4th and 6 that set up the 2-point conversion to tie the game, send it to overtime, help them win. And I will say this, though. Listen, this is a key for Alabama. Defensively, the defensive line, defensive front has to stay in position because he's a guy that on 3rd and 3, 3rd and 5, if they're throwing the ball, he can pull it down and make something happen. I mean, he can get that 6 yards for the first down, whatever he needs. So that's going to be a real key. discipline, and we haven't seen a lot of that in these games against these kind of quarterbacks.
Rodney, do you think maybe, as I think a lot of people did, Alabama would be undefeated going into Athens? And the coaching staff, as they prep throughout the spring and summer and preseason camp, we're kind of putting game plans together, maybe thinking we should be undefeated. We're going to Athens. Then we got to spring this on the Dogs. We kind of get through our first three, then we get for real. In saying all that, do you think the fans will see anything different out of this team from what they've seen in the first three games?
You know, John, I like that question. And I tell you,
does that count? Does that count?
Yeah. Okay.
Great question. Great question. I'm going on a hunch here.
Yeah.
I think you're going to see Alabama come out very aggressive offensively. I think for Alabama to win this game, or to certainly have a chance to win the game, let's just be honest. Ty Simpson's going to have a really good day. He's gonna have to be on. And we've seen what Ty can do. They're going to have to protect him. Now, listen, Georgia's pass rush, we know Kirby will dial something up new. We know that. But so far, it hasn't been great. I think they have 4 sacks on the season. They don't have a ton of pressures. So their pass rush hasn't been great. This offensive line, if they can protect Ty, these receivers are going to have opportunities to make explosive plays. Now, I know that the Georgia secondary has been scorched. They were burned against Tennessee. Aguilar threw for 371 yards and 4 touchdowns. But they're going to get physical with Alabama's receivers. So they better be ready for that. But there's going to be opportunities for explosive plays. So I think Alabama not going to be, what's the way to put it? They're not going to be haphazard about what they do, but I think they're going to be really aggressive. I think when they feel like they've got shots, they're going to take shots.
I get that.
Yeah, they're going to have to, no doubt. One of my favorite subjects, Barry knows I'm going to ask you this one because we always reminisce about it, but now it's fact, it's news, it happened this week. Your thoughts about Alabama's annual opponents and the schedule for the next 4 years? Yeah.
Wow.
Did you think that was coming earlier, Barry?
This is the first of about 4 questions on the subject. Auburn, Tennessee, not LSU, but Mississippi State.
Yeah. Well, you know, I think we talked about this last week, and you guys said, what do you think? And I said it should be Mississippi State instead of LSU. Right. Yeah. Just simply, they're an hour and a half down the road.
Yeah.
But when you look at Alabama,
that's a tough hour and a half, Rodney. I can tell you. That's a tough hour and a half.
but I will say this: you look at Alabama's schedule, and no offense to Mississippi State, but you'd much rather have Mississippi State on there than LSU every single year. This is you look at the games they got coming up, it's a gauntlet. You look at those schedules, there's a real gauntlet. They've got Ohio State mixed in a couple of those schedules. So, it's going to be, it's challenging, but you know what? I like it. I like that you're going to play, and again, I know they play Georgia again next year. They get them in Tuscaloosa. And then the following year, they've got Texas, so I really like that. I like that, we're going to see Texas more often and all of that. So, no, I think the schedule is, it is what it is. It's the SEC.
I think that fans, particularly Tighter Insider members, are going to have to realize that teams are going to lose a couple of games.
100%.
And still get in the playoff. I think that's why we're going to go to 16. I think the schedules are so demanding, the non-conference requirement as well. But the networks want it, the fans want it, but you might have to realize you're going to lose 2, maybe 3 games, but you can still get in the playoff. And I don't really have a problem with that.
Well, that's just the way it's going. I don't see any way around it, actually. How are you going to play that gauntlet of a schedule and expect to be undefeated every year or lose one game? You're just not going to do it. And very few teams will do it, I think. So I do think, and there's a lot of talk this year, John and Barry, that there may be a couple of 3-loss teams that end up in the playoffs. That remains to be remains to be seen, but I wouldn't be surprised. So yeah, it's just the way it's going now.
We were talking earlier about Ty Simpson Well, about the Alabama team as a whole, but especially about Ty. He has really gotten hot over the last couple of games. Probably doesn't love the fact that he didn't have a game last week, but I think he knows if you're an Alabama quarterback, your legacy is based on championships and not necessarily winning against ULM or against Wisconsin. They're also, the legacy is cemented with games like this on Saturday for him.
Yeah, 100%. No doubt. This is a great opportunity for Ty. No question about that. And I think I think Ty will be zeroed in. I really do. I think he's focused. I think he's waited for these opportunities. I think, too, the Florida State game is a motivator. Ty has stepped up to the plate. He's a guy that even in that Florida State game, there were times, and I think we all agreed that there were times you could see in his eyes he appeared to be a little overwhelmed. But he wasn't getting a lot of help, number one. Number two is he continued to battle through those things. This is going to be a real challenge. The question still remains, though. How does he handle the stage and the environment at Georgia? That's going to be really key. And another thing is, how does Alabama respond on the road to the adversity they're going to face? Because you guys know this. For the most part, under Kalen DeBoer, this team or his teams have not responded to adversity extremely well on the road. In fact, you look at Vanderbilt, they melted right away. You look at Tennessee, melted right away with penalties and all of these types of things. Oklahoma was a complete debacle. So I think, how do you respond on the road at Georgia? And I'm going to make you a prediction that Alabama is going to play really, really well in this game. Now, I don't know if they're going to win or not, but I think it's a matter of fact. I spoke to someone that I really trust, a guy that has coached is on the highest level. He's had a lot of success evaluating talent. He thinks Alabama is clearly more talented than Georgia, which surprised me. Surprised me. But at the same time, he gave Georgia's coaching staff the edge a little bit. So I can see it's going to be a one-score game either way.
Well, one good thing for Alabama heading on the road, they're not a double-digit favorite, and that's been a problem because these games you talked about, they go on the road, big favorite, get beat straight up. They're an underdog, have been all week. Lines moved up and down a little bit, going to settle in probably somewhere around 3.5 by kickoff. But you're right, tough environment, but they have already been in a tough environment. I guess Georgia has as well going to Knoxville. So both these teams kind of seasoned when it comes to being in big game environments.
No doubt. I mean, again, Georgia right now is they last year, they lost their quarterback in the SEC championship game, and Gunnar Stockton comes off the bench. He's pretty raw, right? And he does what he has to do. He completes a couple of key throws. He makes a couple of key runs. Winners find ways to win. And you know what? What else can you say about Georgia? Yeah. I mean, Kirby Smart. I mean, they find ways to win football games. And so and listen, I'm going to say this too. People talk about Alabama, talk about Kalen DeBoer. We forget that Alabama showed a lot of resiliency last year in that game against Georgia at the end. They made two key plays with Ryan Williams play and then Zabian Brown. So Alabama has shown that at times. It's just on the road, other than LSU last year, they really have not looked good.
Zabian Brown may not have to buy an alcoholic beverage in Tuscaloosa for the rest of his life. You say that, and it's a point well made and well presented, Rodney, but I'm looking at it from the Georgia side of things. They've done so much. They've won championships, league championships, national championships. Kirby, like I said before, he is like 52-4 at home, but Alabama has been his kryptonite from the get-go. What is it? I pulled up the number on the show yesterday. Bulldogs are 1-6 under Kirby Smart against Alabama. If he's got chips on the table, he's pushing them all in on Saturday night. Yeah,
well, knowing Kirby, this is a real motivator for him. And somebody asked on Tighter Insider TV the other night, did we think that Kirby coaches scared against Alabama. Absolutely not. I don't think Kirby Smart coaches scared against anyone. That's why their program, they're very confident when they take the field. And, again, those are some really good Alabama teams that won those games, close battles, made plays at the end, that type of thing. So, and like Kirby said, who else beats them on a regular basis? So, but it's no. Listen. But a lot of people have asked, and I don't know if you guys have talked about this, but is Alabama in Kirby's head? Is it something that he, again, it's not coaching scared, but he tries to make a call here or the call there that maybe he ordinarily wouldn't, like the fake punt in the 2018 SEC championship game. Like, it's 4th and 11. Punt the ball, punt Alabama deep, and they didn't do it, obviously. But anyway, it's going to be interesting. That is a great point. I mean, Alabama is 6-1 against Kirby. So, you know what? Listen, here's the thing. What if Alabama goes over to Athens and beats Georgia? Well, from a Georgia perspective, they're going to say, just forget it. We don't want to play Alabama anymore. Yeah. All right. But from the other perspective, we talked about after they beat ULM, that was a baby step. They beat Wisconsin. They took the next step. Now they have to go to Georgia. If they beat Georgia for Alabama, the narrative suddenly changes. Okay, Alabama's, they're Alabama again. But here's the thing. Can they withstand prosperity? Can they stand prosperity? Because the next week you've got Diego Pavia coming in here. So I think there's going to be question marks about this Alabama team every single week.
I'm with you. I think so too, Rodney. Until the season plays out and we figure out what's going to be happening postseason wise, they're going to be questions each and every week. That's why we have you on to help answer those questions for us. So give us that expert analysis, the Tighter Insider, Rodney Orr. Tell our viewers and our listeners, Rodney, how do they become a member? How do they find out more about what you have there at Tighter Insider?
Yeah, TighterInsider.com. It's only $48 a year. You can get instant access with your credit card if you prefer. There is an address there to send a check, and that gives you all our premium information. But also part of that is our All Sports Forum. We are on there a lot, going back and forth with our members, and a lot of discussion going on right now, obviously, about this upcoming game and the future of Alabama football.
Great stuff as always, Rodney. We appreciate you. Thanks very much.
Okay, guys. Appreciate it. Take care.
You too, buddy. Thank you so much. That's Rodney Orr, the Tighter Insider, brought to you each and every week exclusively by our friends at the Destin Connection Seafood Market. The freshest seafood arriving daily at the Destin Connection Seafood Market. And how about stopping by, Barry, to get that grilled grouper po' boy? Do you get your fried shrimp po' boy, fried oyster po' boy, fried snapper po' boy, however you like it? I just prefer the grilled grouper. It is so good.
Fresh fish, swordfish, cobia. I've never had this before. I'd never heard of this before, and I eat a lot of fish. John swears by the triple tail.
Yes.
Pompano, salmon. They also have, of course, fresh shrimp, fresh crab meat, fresh oysters arriving daily at the Destin Connection Seafood Market. But it's not just that. John mentions the po' boys out there.
Oh, yeah.
He is a grilled grouper fiend out there. Plus, the crawfish dip. They rave about that. They've got it all at the Destin Connection Seafood Market. They can have it waiting for you. They are.
There's a man right there. Range Pro with the shrimp. Yeah, gotta love it. Awesome.
He is always busy making sure you have the freshest seafood available. So busy that I haven't checked, but we haven't got a Ryder Cup take.
That's coming. Barry. Range Pro is working feverishly on his Ryder Cup selections.
Right.
Probably going to have those tomorrow as we begin to play. They're setting the matchups. So we got to get the matchups, who's playing who. Yeah. Once we get the matchups, Range Pro is going to reveal those to us. But I'm looking forward to who he's picking.
3750 Norman Bridge Road in Montgomery. It's the Destin Connection Seafood Market. Pull a Longshore. Call ahead so you don't have to wait. 288-4272. Destin Connection, proud to be able to bring you Rodney Orr, the Tighter Insider, every week.
Now, Barry, when you go by, ask for the homemade cocktail sauce. David prepares it himself.
Oh.
Unbelievable. I'm a big cocktail. I'm not so much tartar sauce. I like cocktail sauce.
I'm a cocktail sauce guy.
It's really, really, really good.
Homemade.
Yes.
Very good.
Outstanding. Hey, still to come, don't forget, Plainsman Preston, hang with us.
Yes.
The Moneyline Magician, Josh Harris, is coming up for a Thursday visit.
Who's coming up next? The Phantom's Daily Dog.
The Phantom's Daily Dog. It's Longshore and McKnight live at the Montgomery Regional Airport in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light.
Located just 8 miles north of Alabama's state capital, Capitol Hill features 3 18-hole championship courses. With more than 1,500 acres of golf and nature, the pure magnitude of this facility is amazing and allows each course to be drastically different from the others. Capitol Hill also features an innovative 360-degree driving range 400 yards in diameter. Capitol Hill offers a fully stocked pro shop with the latest equipment and apparel. Great food and beverages in the clubhouse can be enjoyed both before and after your round. Get your group together and hit the trail. Go to rtjgolf.com/Capitol Hill for tee times and more information.
The Bush Guide, cold and smooth survival skills. For a successful stint in the great outdoors, pack accordingly. Place heavy essentials near your spine for stability in rough terrain, with light items near the bottom. Now, you may be wondering, where does the bush light go? In your stomach. Bush. Head for the mountains. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2023 Anheuser-Busch Busch Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Extra, extra. The referral perks just doubled at Dixie. Now through November 30th, get $50 for you and $50 off for your friend when you refer them to Dixie. That's a $100 value. Current Dixie customers get 10% off any repair just for being loyal. Dixie Cares Plan members get an unbeatable 20% off. Plus, you can finance anything over $250. Double the rewards, double the savings.
Okay, back at it here. It is Longshore and McKnight, presented by Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy.
Just scrolling through some of our entries already at longshoreandmcknight@gmail.com. In our Marguerite's Exquisite Jewelry, name the score promotion. Whew. There's a couple of people out there, well, more than a couple now that I scroll through them all. Kind of like what Rodney said. There's a lot of Alabama people who are just, man, we ain't winning this game.
Well, I'm picking up that as well, Barry. I'm going to give you a little nugget, though. I'm sure Bama fans want them to win the game.
Oh, just don't think they will. Yeah, okay.
Since Georgia played Clemson last year to open the 2024 season in Atlanta against Clemson.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember that game or not.
I do.
Since that game, Georgia 3-13 against the spread.
Hang on. It's not written down there.
Yeah.
One of the
3-13.
All of that just came top of his head.
Yep. So maybe Bama, I don't know, maybe they don't win the game tomorrow. Bama fans hope they do, but if you grab those points, and again, it's about 3.5 at the moment. They say that Georgia doesn't cover the spread very well. So there you have it.
Hey, big shout out, couple of things from our River Region Straw chat line.
Yep.
Right beside us here. No, on this side.
Oh, yeah, there we go.
Chris the Bammer
there we go.
is on a stretch.
What's he got going on?
That is 14 chats in the last 28 minutes.
I love that guy.
That is a chat submission every 2 minutes. Woo, Chris.
Love it, Chris. Keep them coming.
Things like our defensive coordinator stinks. What running game? It sucks. I like people who spell sucks with an X.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's kind of
we'll probably lose. Come on, Chris.
Kind of has that Cajun Louisiana feel to it when they do it that way.
Yeah. Also, this before we go to our Moneyline Magician here.
Oh, we're going to pass the Daily Dog. That's fine.
No.
That's fine if you want to. I'm in on that.
Tobias says, when it comes to the run game, just maybe, Daniel Hill nor Richard Young are that good. We never hear about the run blocking when the backs produce.
You know,
but
Tobias,
you do with the wide receivers.
Yes, you do.
Julio Jones, there was never anybody nationwide who made it a point to compliment Julio Jones's downfield blocking.
That's right.
More than this guy.
Well, you know, you got to be able to be an all-around player. I mean, you catch the passes and do all that kind of great stuff, but you got to be able to block for your teammates.
Good stuff.
I saw Jamar Gibbs the other night with Detroit. He's blocking for the that running back Montgomery that went on that 70-yard sprint. Gibbs threw a block downfield. Went, there you go. You're just not standing around. So, yeah, maybe some of these other blockers can't pick up blitzes or things like that, but you got to do it. You got to be an all-around player. All right, quickly, before we get to Josh Harris, the money line magician. Barry, we went to extra innings last night.
Oh, did we?
Yeah.
I checked the score, but
Yep. And I'm thinking, wait a minute. The Dodgers are already in the playoffs. What do they care about going extra innings?
That was the point yesterday we both brought up. Look, the Dodgers are really good, but are they going to give their all and really sell out on the road in Phoenix? Meanwhile, the Diamondbacks had a lot to play for here in late September.
I mean, why do the Dodgers want to play extra baseball? I mean, they need to rest, get ready for postseason. Well, they go
4-4 after 9.
Yeah, go to 11 innings, and somebody dinks one across the plate, the top of the 11th, and Arizona can't answer. Tough loss for us last night.
Yeah.
Still have a winning week going so far. And Barry, we're going to stay. We're going to stay in the desert tonight.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to say on the Phantom's Daily Dog, you're going to stay with baseball.
No,
we got college football tonight.
Really?
We got NFL football tonight.
Yeah, we do. Yes, we do.
You know, I thought, man,
I've even forgotten who's playing college tonight.
My man Lugs has got East Carolina at home. He told us about it on Monday.
That's correct.
The Pirates against the Cadets. It's Army at East Carolina tonight at 6:30 ESPN. Matt Berry, Tom Luganville.
I'm going to take a pass on that, Barry. We're going to go out to Arizona where the Cardinals are at home tonight,
of course,
hosting the Seattle Seahawks, who are thinking pretty highly of themselves, riding high because they demolished the worst team in the NFL on Sunday, so they think they're good.
They were leading, 38-6 at halftime against. I don't even have to mention, he said the worst team in the NFL.
Yeah,
so
they're a little fat and happy, a little impressed with themselves when they come down to reality tonight when they face this Arizona Cardinal team. That's a home underdog.
What, I got a 1.5?
2.5, I believe.
2.5, okay.
You think two, yeah.
That's my guess was a 1.5.
You think Vegas is inflating that line, thinking, oh, wow, people think Seattle's great. No, not the case. Home dog, Arizona Cardinals, taking the night in the NFL, hosting Seattle, take the Cardinals plus the 2, and we'll talk about our win tomorrow.
And while you're watching it on Amazon Prime, buy something too. Online. Like that really nice wall hanging behind Josh Harris, the Moneyline Magician. Normally, I thought Sears was closed.
Well, in some markets,
maybe
JCPenney.
Josh Harris comes up next. Longshore and McKnight. We're in the airport. One of the things I love about the airport, we're live. People all around catching their flights, checking their bags, going
waving to us.
And they're waving at us.
Love
they like just now, the pick on the Phantom's Daily Dog. Guy behind the counter over there goes, yeah.
Matter of fact, guy behind his counter is picking his phone up. What are you talking about?
Yeah, the customers are being served, but he's just.
Hey, wait till they hear what Josh Harris coming with in about 2 minutes.
Stay with us. It's Longshore and McKnight from the Montgomery Regional Airport in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light.
Phoenix Physical Therapy is ready to help patients recover, recharge, and rise. They develop a customized therapy plan for each patient to get them back to enjoying their favorite activities. Their experienced team is committed to providing exceptional care in a professional environment. Whether you're looking to prevent or treat an injury, recover from a recent illness, or recuperate from surgery, schedule an appointment with our clinic and take advantage of our physical therapy, athletic training, workers' comp, and employer solutions service. Experience elevated physical therapy today. Call Phoenix Physical Therapy at 239-9316. That's 239-9316.
All right, man, grab a Budweiser and take a knee. It is the best time of the year. It's baseball season. That means sunshine. It means behind-the-back peanut tosses. And it means sharing some cold, frosty Budweisers with your boys. Because there's nothing more American than watching America's game with America's beer. So let me ask you something. Are you ready to bring your A game? Are you ready to cheer every frozen rope down the line and amazing catch at the warning track? Are you ready for pitchers' duels and slugfests? Tell me, are you ready for the thrill of an incredible walk-off victory? I can't hear you. Are you ready for Budweiser and baseball? Then get on your feet, raise an ice-cold Bud, and let's make this season larger than life. Great times are waiting. Grab some Bud!
Enjoy responsibly. Budweiser Beer, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri.
Jim Massey's Cleaners and Laundry is an Alabama-based, family-owned and operated business that specializes in dry cleaning and laundry, serving the River region since 1941. There are 12 convenient locations across the River region. Find one close to you or call 481-1911 for free pickup and delivery. For 83 years, Central Alabama has trusted Jim Massey's Cleaners and Laundry. You should too.
Okay, back at it here on a Thursday.
Excited to bring in our next guest. Josh Harris may be the only man that you'll see on this program who thinks officiating Auburn, Oklahoma, what's wrong with the officiating? Who thinks that Tennessee kicker probably had it coming when the UAB kid stomped on his foot. Josh Harris.
Great officiating.
Yeah.
No, it really wasn't. It really. My father-in-law is a big Auburn fan, and he's an official as well.
Oh wow!
So he's been doing it for years and years and years. One of the top. I think he's the top official in Huntsville. So I immediately texted him after the game and was like, "I need a breakdown." And he's the biggest defender of the refs. Not today. Not that day.
Yeah. That was not one of their best outings. Be interesting to see if that crew's working this weekend. And if they're working in College Station, whoa, wow. I don't believe that's going to be the case.
Your father-in-law may be able to get him work in Huntsville sometime. First of all, I got to ask you about this because we've had guests on the program today who have said it. John has quoted Chris Stewart, the voice of the Crimson Tide, who has said it, that Alabama basketball would not be at the level that it is right now. Final Four a little while back, 30-win seasons, if it had not been for Bruce Pearl and his tenure at Auburn. Agree or disagree?
No, what? What?
Not only disagree, but disbelief that somebody would actually even utter those words.
I thought the comment was going to be, we wouldn't be as good if our football program. Well, it ain't got nothing to do with Bruce Pearl. What's he talking about?
Elevating what Auburn did, and the rest of the league and the rest of the South is going, heck, if Auburn can do it, we sure ought to be able to do it.
If you take that angle, then sure. Yeah. If you look at it, we're not, if they're doing this, we're not doing it. Is sad to see him go, though. I mean, to some extent, like he was a high-class guy, I mean, like as classy as it gets at Auburn. I mean, it's classy as it gets.
Wait a minute. That sounded like two different statements there. He's a classy guy, and then he's as classy as you can get at Auburn.
I caught myself. I knew it. Listen.
Oh, that's a good. I got to write that one down. That's a good one. Yeah.
So I'm in Toronto right now. Y'all were talking about the baseball games.
Yeah.
Jays got killed last night. Ooh. And they were all mad. And instead of going to the Jays game, I went to go see the B-52s in Devo.
No way.
Heck yeah.
And so I'm walking out. You've got half the people downtown singing Love Shack, and the others are pissed off Jays fans.
Well, I mean, what hits did Devo have?
Whip It.
I mean, is that it?
They played for 2 hours, and they played Whip It last. I didn't know what they were playing. It was the band that opened for Devo was it was like a witch lady. It was one of the strangest things I've ever seen in my life. Then B-52s came on, played about 4 songs, and Rock Lobster, Love Shack, and Hit the Road. It was a pretty good night.
Man, how about that? Man.
That lady with the bouffant, with the beehive hairdo.
I mean,
I mean, she's got to be pushing 80.
Oh,
right?
easy. I mean, what about Private Idaho? They play that?
They did play. They said keep in mind we're in Toronto. They said, do y'all want to go to Idaho? And everyone in the crowd said, no.
Yeah. Oh,
she's finally that lady with the beehive hairdo. She's old enough to where that's actually in style now for somebody her age.
I mean, that was in style before Marge Simpson made it a thing. I mean, she's got the beehive. Yeah. All right, let's get serious, Josh. Got a 2-week layover. You know, Bama's beaten Lamo. They beat Wisconsin, who's not any good either. But they go into Athens on Saturday. What are your thoughts? What's your forecast? What's your feeling about the game between the hedges Saturday night?
The gut feeling is good. For whatever, I can't explain it, but for whatever reason, I guess it's just we usually do well against Georgia, and we looked good the last couple weeks. We've got a main piece, obviously, to our offense and our defense coming back in Tim Keenan and Jam Miller, and it feels like we're headed in the right direction. I definitely don't have the sense of negativity that I did 2 weeks ago. They look better. They look more confident. There's a hope that the Florida State game was just jitters and playing in the rain, and it just isn't going to be all that bad. I think the prediction is a W. I think we get up early, like we did in the past couple of years. Georgia makes it tight at the end, and we'll see if we can hang on. I think the spread is if you're the general public, you're hammering Georgia, which is why right. So Vegas knows something. They know something. So I hope they are right this time, because I think it's
I've seen that line kind of move a little bit, Josh. I saw it at 4.5 around Sunday, got to 2.5. I'm seeing 3.5 now. Real interested to see what it goes off at tomorrow, Saturday night.
And do these guys coming back? I was telling one of my buddies, before previous years, if somebody got hurt, it wasn't the end of the world.
Yeah,
right. We could next man up. But now I think it might have made a difference, right? When you have these top players coming in, you don't just have backups anymore with the way that the league is structured now. So Jam Miller, Tim Keenan coming back, like we don't have guys to fill those spots anymore. So I think that could make a huge difference. I'd like to see what happens.
How do we feel about this? Top of your head. How do we feel about twice in the next 4 years, Bama fans had a chance to go to LSU, to go to Baton Rouge. Instead, you got to go to Starkville, Mississippi.
Not great. I think it's a loss for everybody. You don't really, and it's interesting. You're not begging for an easy schedule. Like I think these groups that got crappy matchups in the SEC, I don't think they're happy about it. Right? I mean, I think Auburn got. I was looking. That's just crazy. They play. I saw they got Vandy without seeing who the other two teams were they got. So I was like, how did they end up with Vandy? And then
you're talking about two institutions on the extreme opposite ends of the spectrum. But anyway, I digress.
So it was I mean, I'm upset about it. We need to. I mean, they are a rival. I mean, there's a clear top three rival. So I mean, I'm sure logistically and all that crap. You couldn't make it work. Blah blah blah. But we have.
As long as I've been around, Josh, I don't ever remember Alabama and LSU not playing. I mean, I can remember the rain game in '78 when Bama won 3-0 and it rained the whole game. I mean, are you kidding me? And this is what irks me. Well, they're the closest two campuses in the league. So what? Who cares?
Sure.
Oh, they've played. They have a long history of games up against each other. Again, big deal. Who cares? Those excuses are lame in my book. And the trip from Tuscaloosa to Starkville into Easy Street, I can promise you, it's 2-lane 82 through rural West Alabama.
Yeah, there's a 55% chance you hit a deer.
Yeah, you got to go through Gordo, I believe.
What's wrong with Gordo?
I'll tell you what's wrong with Gordo. The last football game I ever played was in Gordo.
Oh,
they beat us in the playoffs, 2010.
Ah, man,
sad.
Sore subject.
Yeah,
yeah. So I don't get that Mississippi State stuff.
What about Lane Kiffin having another gambling comment? I mean,
about his daughter.
About his daughter, right? He said,
take the over.
Yeah, so he's going to beat him so bad, take the over. He's talking about sorry for not covering. I'm like, how are you getting away with this? Like, there should be
his daughter's distracting their best defensive player.
Yeah. That's actually a pretty elite move. Send his daughter in there.
I couldn't figure out if he was saying that their relationship is over or the game's going over.
Yeah,
I took it as he's going to beat it.
I wonder what his defense thinks about that. Come on, Coach. We're going to hold this LSU team. Nussmeier played his worst game against Ole Miss last year, by the way. How about that history lesson for you?
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
What do we? John mentioned this. I haven't seen it. It's on Netflix.
Yeah. No. It's on ESPN.
ESPN. That's right. You said that. The this kind of Lane Kiffin bio thing where he talks about losing all the weight and hot yoga and family together, quit drinking, and all of a sudden he's a better version of himself. Regretted the way his exit was handled at Alabama. With the benefit of hindsight, Josh, how do you feel about Lane Kiffin?
He's I like him. I mean, I think he's entertaining. I don't want him to be the coach of Alabama.
That was kind of what I was going to be the next question.
Yeah, I like him. I mean, I think he's like Pat McAfee if he was a coach. Like, I mean, it's entertaining. He's all over the place. He's always in the news. It's good for the sport, all this and that. But he's just a walking housewife, like, or how, whatever the housewives of Ole Miss should be.
Yeah.
Lane Kiffin. I mean, he's a reality TV show. He needs to relax or just keep doing it. He's a joke.
He's kind of changed his lifestyle around a little bit, but there again, he's got to win the games, the big games, which he's won some. He just got to avoid losing the games that he has no business losing. Reference Kentucky last year. We'll see. Last night they said he's had the most success at Ole Miss since any coach since Johnny Vaught in terms of 10-win seasons and things of that nature. So he's been successful.
No, he's a good coach. I just he just doesn't need to do all the stuff he does off the field. It's just
All right. Final question here. We'll leave it with this. Let me check and make sure I have a proper line, the latest line for Alabama, Georgia. Georgia 3-point favorite. What's your gut feeling? What's your advice to our viewing and listening public?
Advice. I think we got to take, if you're going to bet on the Tide, take the money line. We're not going to lose by 3. We're not going to lose by 3. Take the money line.
Okay.
Josh, I mentioned earlier today a little nugget. Since Georgia opened up with Clemson last year in Atlanta, they are 3-13 against the spread.
Woof.
How about that one?
Pound the Tide.
Yeah. There we go. On that note.
Hey, I hope you get across the border and get back into the United States by the time we see you next week.
Yeah.
I'll be back. Back.
We will leave with the pound the Tide, much more so than he's as classy as you can expect from Auburn to set the final tone for this visit. From Josh Harris, the Moneyline Magician. Josh, appreciate you. Thanks.
See y'all.
Man, good stuff. That's kind of very like that guy years ago. Who was it? I'm trying to think. Maybe it was.
Give him a moment. He'll work.
I think it was. Golly, who was it?
Be
he
patient.
said, "Barry, you're too smart to be an
That
all."
was at that time. He was known as Mitchell from Montgomery.
Mitchell from Montgomery.
Now he's known as Mitchell from Tuscaloosa.
Yeah, Barry, you're too smart to be an all.
Yeah.
Oh boy,
More to come.
That's going to go in our chapter in our book. Very famous quotes over the years
that somebody's going to have to write for John. We're live at the Montgomery Regional Airport. Getting better the more you use it. Also, the home of the Hertz counter.
Yes.
My man Chris is over here. He'll take care of you at the Hertz counter. It's Longshore and McKnight in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light.
It's the Drive into Fall event at Stivers. Rams 21 grand off or 13 grand off plus 0% for 60 months. Heavy duty Rams $9,500 off plus 0% for 60 months.
Stivers, Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, where Price sells new cars and trucks in Prattville.
It's the Drive into Fall event at Stivers. Gladiators 10 grand off. Wranglers 12 grand off. And 3-row Grand Cherokees 13 grand off or 0% for 60 months.
Stivers, Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, where Price sells new cars and trucks in Prattville.
Hey, folks, how often do you think about your roof? Probably not often at all. I know I didn't until I needed a roof replacement. And I call my friends at Roof Life. Whether it's roof inspections, roof repair, or insurance roof replacement, Roof Life is there for you. They use the highest quality products, top quality craftsmanship, and if you're like me, your roof can be replaced in one day. So if you're in need of a roof inspection, roof repair, or insurance roof replacement, get in touch with my friends at Roof Life today. You can go to roofyourlife.com. That's roofyourlife.com, or dial them up locally at 334-306-6712. That's 334-306-6712.
I like it. Yeah.
Well, here we are back at
Appreciate
it
you. Take
on
care.
this Thursday. You know, it's amazing. We said this back in our radio days. If people could see what we do and talk about during the breaks.
People we visit with,
Yeah.
especially when we're on location, particularly a place that's really bustling, like the Montgomery Regional Airport. People up there, hey, love the show. You guys are doing great. More of this, less of that. Love this. Don't, do this instead of that.
Yep,
We get all kinds of feedback here, especially at a place like the Montgomery Regional Airport. What I like as much as anything, I mean, we have people all over the area know to fly out of MGM.
Oh, sure.
Rather than, drive to Atlanta, for God's sakes. But also, I like the people who are coming in.
Oh, yeah.
From out of town, from out of the country, and they'll stop, coming back, from the gate, and they'll say, or maybe, going back to wherever they are, they'll say, hey, those guys, we don't have anything like this back where we live.
See?
Wait a minute. We've been listening to this bozo back in our hometown for all these years, and we could be checking out these guys.
Yeah.
They get a notepad out, Longshore and McKnight. Okay, all right. And they take it with them.
That's right.
Hey, the word spreads.
It's awesome. And we certainly appreciate everybody that comes by and says hello and utilizes the airport. You mentioned people coming in quickly. Barry wanted to bring this up. They're doing some revamping and modernizing of the baggage claim area here at MGM. And one of the things that they're reinstalling, besides new conveyor belts and making it easier for baggage retrieval and whatnot, is an area where larger items can be picked up, like golf clubs, because they see so many people coming into town with golf clubs heading to the trail, whether they're going to Greenville, to Auburn, to Prattville, up to Capitol Hill. A lot of people bringing their golf clubs, and they needed to make it more convenient. So really cool that they're adding that feature for people coming in from out of town that will be coming to take advantage of all the great golf. All right, our Victoryland 777 topic wheel, Gurn Jr. puts it together each and every day. We have no idea what we're about to face here, what the topics are, what we're going to discuss. It is new to us, just like it is to you.
Yep, we got to go in a lightning round here. Oh, this is good. Brought to you by Victoryland 777 Casino, exit 22 off I-85 in Shorter, Alabama, where you can be a winner too. Let's get to it.
Yep.
5 topics in 5 minutes. That's easy.
Let's do it.
Easy.
Love the color combination
Yeah,
again
a couple
today.
of different greens, couple of different blues. Celeb match. Okay. Acclimate. The Eagles in Tampa.
Oh,
They're going to Tampa a day early to
wait a minute.
acclimate to the heat.
You know, isn't it going to be
It's
hot
late
for the
September.
Isn't it going to be hot for the Buccaneer players too?
It's late September. I mean, it's Tampa. It ain't like it's, Miami.
I mean, really, it's a regular season game. I mean, the Eagles are really good. So, Barry, tell me, how are they going to acclimate? They're going to get off the plane and they're going to go,
to the hotel room.
They're going to go sit out in the parking lot all day or something?
All right, guys, you've got to give me 45 minutes by the pool. I don't want any of you shirkers. You lie out there in the sun, not in the shadows, in the sun, by the pool. Make sure you hydrate. I want 45 minutes, and I want your best.
I wonder who thought this was a good idea.
Yeah.
Just went up to the coach and said, hey, we're going a day early.
We've got to do something about the 3.5 that we are favored by on the road against an undefeated Buccaneers team, by the way.
Maybe they just want to kind of be in the environment. Coaches are good about that.
Yeah. All right.
All right, let's see what we got next.
That's kind of
that's an interesting one. I don't see that happening much. All right.
Let me make sure I get this right.
4 more to go.
Ooh. Choke.
Is that the Arizona Diamondbacks? I mean,
you got to flush it away. You can't let that continue to linger.
That was yesterday.
Yeah. Chokers.
What could this be about? Chokers, smokers, midnight tokers. Nope.
Oh, yeah. Ooh. Again, shout out to my buddy Gunner Whetstone and his son Hunt and Becky and the dog Bailey. The Cleveland Guardians have won the first 2 games in their critical series at home against Detroit. Ooh. The worst collapse in the divisional era. July 8th, Detroit led the AL Central by 15.5.
Wow.
They have lost 8 in a row. The Guardians are in sole possession. They were tied with a tiebreaker when they won yesterday. They are now in sole possession of first place in the American League Central Division.
How do they look at
Cleveland
themselves
wins
in the
it
mirror?
5-1.
I mean, how do they wake up and go, wait a minute, we were up by 15.5? What happened here?
There's no excuse. They play again tonight.
Yeah.
At 6:40. Again, John probably knows this because of the red X's he puts on his calendar. But the Major League regular season ends Sunday.
Yes.
So it's getting down to, as Simone would say, it's getting pretty serious.
I do like postseason in Major League Baseball. I say like.
He can stand
I can
it.
take it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He doesn't have the dry heaves.
No.
When he watches postseason.
I can definitely tell it's ramped up in intensity.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
All right, we got some more to go. 3. Let's see what we got.
And some time.
Yeah, we do. Victoryland, open 24/7, 365. You can be a winner too.
Celeb matchup. Celeb is a People magazine word.
Yeah, I think it is.
Oh, yeah, the Ryder Cup celebrity match. Colin Jost and Eli Manning versus Tony Kukoc and Brooklyn Pike.
Ooh, I'll take Jost and Manning.
Miranda Lambert and Michael Strahan versus Catherine Zeta-Jones, who's got to be 70.
No kidding.
And Pau Gasol, who's 7 feet tall. All right. Kane Brown, Noah Cahan, don't know them. Tom Felton and Oliver Phelps.
Who?
Tom Felton and Oliver Phelps.
Bobby Flay.
No, back up a little bit. Back up to,
yeah.
Tom Felton played, I'm geeking out here, played Draco Malfoy in the Harry Potter movies. And Oliver Phelps played one of the Weasley twins.
Oh.
I am totally Harry Potter nerding out on this one. That's the one I'm following.
All right. Celebrity. We were available. I mean, we could have played in this thing.
Yep. I like that. I didn't know they were having those.
Celebrity Ryder Cup.
I'm rooting for the Euros and the celebrity match.
Man.
Put it back up there, Gurn. Here we are.
Let's see what. 2 more to go on the
more to
Victoryland
go.
777 topic. Let's see what we got.
Big legend. Humility prevents me from guessing who that might be about. But bad mistake. That's more like me than big legend. Believe
bad mistake. What could this be about?
Keegan.
More Ryder Cup.
Oh, Keegan Bradley, the U.S. captain of the Ryder Cup, was referencing Justin Rose instead of Justin Leonard. Justin Rose is a Euro.
Yeah.
Justin Leonard's one of us.
Mm-hmm.
Why not say Justin Timberlake if you're going to say something?
Kidding, man. Justin Timberlake.
Oh, come on, Keegan.
Yeah, he's a little nervous. He's got a lot on his mind. Got a lot happening there. You usually see Keegan Bradley with the big hat on. He wears those hats with the big rims on them. It's kind of nice to see that guy without a hat on.
Yeah, especially that hat.
Yeah, no kidding.
One more.
He doesn't look like a former Auburn quarterback, but good-looking guy.
Yeah. We were just talking about how did we
What was that quarterback's name again?
Cam Newton.
No, that other guy that was coming off the field. And I made the comment about, he's a good-looking kid.
Oh, Brandon Cox.
Yeah, Brandon Cox. That was the guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I made that statement. It just went like wildfire. What did you just say?
Like,
the guy's a good-looking kid.
Are you telling us something? Is there a closet here? Yeah, one more. Here we go. What is this last
Let's
one?
see what we got.
Big legend.
Big legend.
Big legend.
Well, I hate to say it, but
anyway.
Go ahead. All right. And it is
Sister Jean. Remember when Loyola, of course you don't. Remember when Loyola of Chicago under head coach Porter Moser made it to the Final Four? That was a trick question. John does not.
And
Sister Jean was on the sidelines.
Yeah.
She's she's at Loyola. Well, she's 106 now, and she's still working there up until she announced her retirement because of health concerns. So somebody says, "Well, what's wrong with her? Why is she? She's 106.
106.
She shouldn't be going to
maybe
work
Loyola's
every day.
not as good as they used to be. That'll affect your health.
That
too.
lady, Sister Jean, is legendary. Just like the people here at the Montgomery Regional Airport.
Yep. You're right about that, Barry. Ease of travel is what it's all about. Ease, convenience, and economical. And you get it all here at Montgomery Regional Airport. Make sure your travel plans begin and end here at the Montgomery Regional Airport.
Just go flymgm.com to find out more about everything we've been talking about for the last 2 hours live here at the airport itself. Tomorrow, John's going to be on location again.
You're in the basement tomorrow.
I'm in the basement tomorrow.
Yes.
I'm out.
Yes. So I will be at Stivers Ford in Montgomery. Looking forward to telling you all about all the great deals going on out there. As always, Lee Sterling, Paramount Sports, going to join us. Phantom, I guess I have to intro himself tomorrow.
Yeah.
Oh, that'll be interesting. I'll be interested to see how that plays out. Ralph Michaels also will join us from Wager Talk and the Gold Sheet. Will Fisher from RTJ Golf to talk Ryder Cup golf with us tomorrow as well. And there's a rumor that Gurn Sr. might hop on a little bit tomorrow. He is a Vanderbilt alum.
Oh, they're about to be what? 5-0?
Yeah.
Heading into Tuscaloosa next week?
He is really giddy about his Commodores as they go up against Utah State as a 22.5-point favorite. We'll check in a little on that tomorrow, too.
Many thanks to Jason Caldwell, AuburnUndercover.com. Big shout out, Rodney Orr, TighterInsider.com. Our guy, Josh Harris, Moneyline Magician, and our producer, Gurn Jr. For John Longshore, I'm Barry McKnight from the Montgomery Regional Airport. It's Longshore and McKnight in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light.